When it became known that the Deep Purple's lead singer Ian Gillan was going to give 4 concerts in Yerevan, people simply found it hard to believe. At that time, in 1990, Armenia was moving steadily towards independence, but the Soviet rule was still there. In the Soviet Union, rock music was semi-legal, and for the fans in this country, the international rock stars seemed absolutely unattainable. Gillan's visit to Armenia had particular importance. In 1989, a year after the devastating Spitak earthquake that took lives of 25,000 people and left hundreds of thousands homeless, a constellation of British rock stars decided to help Armenia by recording the cover version of Deep Purple's Smoke on the Water hit, thus contributing to fundraising for the country. Rock Aid Armenia project was the brainchild of the 24-year-old John D. A few months after Spitak earthquake, John was asked to help transfer images from the calamity zone to an American TV companies via satellite. The tragedy conveyed by these images affected John so much that he initiated the Rock Aid Armenia project. John's enthusiasm helped to have true rock and roll legends unite around the project. Ian Gillan and Ritchie Blackmore from Deep Purple, Brian May and Roger Taylor from Queen, Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath, David Gilmour from Pink Floyd, Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden, Jeff Downes from Asia, Chris Squire from Yes, Keith Emerson from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and many others did not spare time and effort for the success of this initiative. "20 years had passed since the recording at London Metropolis Studios. In February 2009, MediaMax media company from Armenia launched a tribute project, Armenia Grateful to Rock, as a sign of appreciation of the effort of the celebrated musicians who called the world's attention to the tragedy of Armenia. MediaMax got in touch with John D, and after 8 months hard work, another unexpected miracle came true. Unbelievable for the new generation of Armenian rock fans born in 1989 or 1990. Ian Gillan visited Armenia again, 20 years after.
Oh, the recording session. Wow, it was crazy. But there was a great sense of fun. That's the whole point. When you're doing stuff like this, you've got to have fun doing it.
Thank you so much.
During his trip to Soviet Armenia in 1990, Ian Gillan visited Spitak. He still remembers being approached by an elderly woman who came up to him in Spitak and showed a photograph of her family. There were 28 people in that photograph, including children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. None of them survived the earthquake. Now she was all alone. And when I was asked to tell about what I had seen, I could not articulate a single word. I just sobbed, Gillan recalls. In an interview to Armenian Garun magazine in 1990, Ian Gillan said, "Something seems to have stopped in Armenia. I was in Spitak on May 19, and probably the most important thing I heard there were the words of a friend of the mayor's. He said that after the earthquake, no music had ever been played at weddings. And then he added, 'But I believe this is wrong.' We should remember what happened, but at some point in time, music should come back. When Armenians are ready to hear the music while still paying tribute to the past, we shall have a most outstanding celebration. In October 2009, Ian Gillan, Tony Iommi and Jeff Downs visited music school number 6 in Gyumri. The school had been destroyed by the earthquake, and to this day, for 20 years already, children have studied music in temporary iron shelters. Before the earthquake, the school had about 500 students. Now there are only 200. It is children from the insecure areas of Gyumri that mostly attend the school. Despite the lack of elementary conditions, the school maintains the high standard of music education. Classical, folk and jazz music is taught here.
Very good. Thank you very much. Good left hand you got there.
Hearing the children play, Ian Gillan and Tony Iommi decided it was important to help rebuild the school. Right on the spot, an agreement was reached that in March 2010, Ian Gillan would appear in charity concerts jointly with the Armenian Philharmonic Orchestra. The promoter of the concerts was MediaMax, and the proceeds from the concerts, coming $45,000, were entirely transferred to the fund for the school rebuilding. 2 months after the visit to the school, Ian Gillan and Tony Iommi sent gifts for children, quality guitars and a drum set.
You know what? Time is a great healer, and music is the accompaniment to that. We all mourn when tragedy happens. So it's this bond that we have with humanity that causes the pain, and it takes time to heal it. I felt in Armenia a great affinity with my natural spirit, very welcoming, very open, a great strength in the community of knowing how you are, who you are. You're not undecided about things. You have strength, and I felt very welcome. And naturally, if you go to somebody's house and they open the door, say, "Come in. Would you like some food, some company, and some conversation, some affection?" Then it's greatly appreciated. And so it's easy to be friendly with Armenia, with Armenian people. It's easy. You make it easy. You have strong spirit, and your aspirations are easily expressed and easy to understand. I sense a great feeling of optimism, and I understand that because that's my nature, that's my family's nature. It's wonderful to be able to enjoy the music again, and hopefully it's the accompaniment to the healing process.
Somebody shouting out